Hello everyone, and welcome to my first YouTube video /video from our website, somethingbysonjia.com. I was trying to figure out what my first video would be. What would I talk about? What would it be about? And then I thought that it would be a great introduction to do like an FAQ, frequently asked questions, for those who don't know what that means. Simply because I get asked certain questions a lot of the time, so I guess I can just jump right into it. The first question that I get would be, when did you decide to become a designer? And without this 20-minute story, when I was 12, my mom taught me how to sew, and it was one of those things that just right off the bat I was just very passionate about. She used to sew all of our costumes when we were like kids, like different like Halloween costumes and even clothes that we wore to school. And that was something that always resonated with me, that I thought was the most amazing thing, that you could turn fabric and make it into this like amazing outfit. So with that being said, after she taught me how to sew, it was one of those things that just always stuck with me, and I just knew from then on I was going to become a fashion designer. Question number 2. What was it like being on Project Runway? I get asked that question a lot for very obvious reasons, and more than anything, I will say it was a learning experience. It's something that I'll never ever regret. I learned so much about myself as a designer, and I really learned to push myself in such a creative way, and just learned to take pressure really well and criticism really well. So it was an amazing experience. I've met amazing people, whether they were in production or whether they were actually designers themselves that I work with, whether they were even on my season or not. Amazing judges, and it's without, I'll just say it was an amazing experience. It was something that I'll always be proud of, and be something I can tell even my grandchildren about. Question number 3. What am I working on now? People always ask me that when they see me in the street, because they're like, oh, what are you doing after Project Runway? So I have my own line, Something by Sonjia, and which I'm actually wearing right now, my spring collection. And currently I'm just trying to really work on trying to put new pieces on my site and just more product to sell. I think sometimes it's hard for me focusing on doing a collection and showing pieces versus focusing on my website and like actually putting product out there to sell. But I think that's what's really important, is getting my designs out to people so that they can actually wear my pieces, versus making runway pieces that are great and it looks good and it may give me a little more notoriety, but ultimately it's hard for me to make those pieces into production, and I feel like it's not an opportunity to get both fans and just people who generally like my aesthetic and like my line. It's hard to get those people to buy those pieces, so that's what I'm currently working on. What inspires me? That's another question I get a lot, and I would say that I'm inspired by a lot of things. One of them being living in New York City. It's one of those places that it's so busy, it's crazy, people are everywhere, and it's like the hustle and bustle of it all is very inspiring, because it's grind time. You gotta stay on your grind, you gotta always be on top of it. I love the buildings. I have a studio that's inside. It's in Bushwick. That's where I'm at right now, and they have what's called the Bushwick Collective. You should check it out, and it's like just amazing artwork that's on a lot of the buildings in the neighborhood that my studio's in, and that's very inspiring to me. Fabric is very inspiring to me, and a lot of times I see fabric, and that's how I determine what I'm going to make. I see something, I'm like, this is so amazing, this would be beautiful in a dress, and then I make a beautiful dress. So these are things that I kind of pull out of, whether it's landscape or art or fabric. I can spend hours in a fabric store, and that's very inspiring to me. And last but not least, how often do I change my hair and hair color? I guess I've always seen hair as a way of expression. I don't get too caught up in hair as in like, you know, my hair has to be down my back, or my hair needs to look a certain way all the time. I love playing around with it. I love it short. Something sassy about short hair, and I'm very sassy, in case you didn't know. So that's something that I love to play around with. And I have an amazing hairdresser who, you know, I give him that freedom to just say, hey, what do you think? Let's play around with some ideas. And whether it's the color or the cut, or sometimes both, I just kind of put some ideas out there, and he'll put some ideas out there, and we'll come up with something that's amazing. And I try to do something different and unique that no one else is doing necessarily with their hair. And I always feel like worst comes to worst, it'll grow back. You know, it's just hair. So I guess I didn't really answer that question, but I change it very often. Even now, I just had this style for about less than a month, maybe a couple weeks, 3 weeks, and I'm already ready to be like, okay, well, try to play around with different ways I can wear it. If I can only wear my hair in one style, in that particular cut, then it's not going to work for me. So I like to wear my hair in different cuts that I can style in a bunch of different ways. I love braids. Braids are really fun for me. So often, very often as much. I don't give myself a timeline as to how often I need to change my hair, but whenever I feel it necessary. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I just really wanted to I thought this was a good introduction way to get those, maybe you don't know me at all, or maybe you do know me, you want to know a little bit more. I'll also be doing a follow-up video based off of questions that you want to ask me. So, you know, comment more questions that you want to ask, and I will answer just about anything. And I am excited about more videos to come. So please subscribe, and please check out my website, somethingbysonjia.com. Whether you're on there to shop, check out past shoots or collections that I've had in the portfolio section. You can look at my blog post, and more importantly, you can shop. So please check that out, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.